So this is what it looks like coming out of the entrance building. There's a lot of vendors out here selling stuff, which is appropriate because this whole area was in the past the market. However, there's people selling stuff throughout the entire complex. And they have Jaguar. No gracias, senor. It's not that I don't want to give them money, but I can't carry all this stuff. I have 2 bags, and I'm trying to keep them very light for this trip. I've had a lot of practice in this. And secondarily, I am a river guide. I don't have much money to spend on trinkets. So I'm out here trying to collect experiences, happy memories, and maybe a few stories to share on the river. So if you're curious about this stuff and want some one-on-one time to bomb away with questions, come rafting with me next summer between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I plan to be back at the Coe Adventure Center, but you should probably go to my website, fastfreds.com/raft, for the latest intel and tips and tricks about how to get me in your raft. I get a lot of requests on some weekends. So if you follow the instructions, you can be the one that gets in my raft. This is the Avenue of the Dead. You can see the Sun Temple poking up to the right, and the Moon Pyramid directly in front of me. Actually, the temple is missing, but you can see the Sun Pyramid over to the right. You know, these structures are almost 2,000 years old. They suffered a lot of weathering, and other cultures came and settled here for a while and built layers on top of some of the other layers. So there's a hodgepodge of cultures here, primarily very related. And taking a long walk up the Avenue of the Dead, or where the Aztecs said men became gods because all the little temples along the way, when they rediscovered it 700 years after it had been abandoned. So this clip might get sped up to make it more interesting. We'll see. Oh, while I was outside talking with some of the gringos in line, didn't have any money and such, as explained to them how the ATMs work, and they're complaining about the really bad exchange rate they're getting. So I explained to them, you're supposed to decline the exchange rate that's offered on the ATM, and that way your banking institution or credit union will take care of the exchange rate for you and give you a much better deal. Plus, they won't charge you a fee for the favor of ripping you off. So, pro tip, always decline the exchange rate. That goes for Mexico, Peru, probably anywhere in the world you go. I can say from personal experience, it's true in Mexico and Peru. So I hope you find that helpful. If you got questions, let me know. Would you like me to shoot a video just about that and show you what the questions look like in English and Spanish so you know which ones to decline? Typically here in Mexico, the fee for using an ATM is about 31 pesos, or roughly $1.50. So it's not a horrible deal. So I would suggest if you do withdraw money, go ahead and withdraw your max amount. Generally speaking, $200, at least for me and my credit union. And that's plenty to get me by for a while. So that would be, you would basically withdraw 4,000 pesos. Coming up on the first sunken terrace and see the stairwell to go up and back over. This partially hides the gradient of this little road. There's a series of 6 of these sunken plazas. And if you look carefully, you might be able to see a drainage tunnel up ahead, and I'll come over here closer to one nearby. As this slopes to the south, we are walking north. The water runs downhill to the south, so they did make adequate drainage for the system. It gets rainy here in the summer, so I understand, but apparently the fall and the winter are pretty dry. Temperatures are nice. And often you'll find altars in the middle of plazas, both big and small. Yeah, I've seen several people crawl or crab through the drainage tunnels between the sunken plazas. I think he chickened out. Apparently these stone circles are marking where some rather hideously looking bright red ants have nests. They don't look friendly. I'm not going to find out exactly what kind they are. They're not building huge mounds like fire ants, and well, they're more brilliant red and bigger to boot. Kind of sounds like a Clint Eastwood spaghetti western at times too, with the music. Yeah, I'm waiting till just after solar noon or so to go down to the Citadel and try to get some video and pictures of some of the artwork there. The Feathered Serpent's pyramid. There's kind of a weird positioning and construction over there, so I'm gonna have to get there when the light's just right. It did not work in the morning yesterday. And as you get closer to the Pyramid of the Sun, the temples or smaller pyramids along the Avenue of the Dead get much more intricate or better restored, whichever the case may be. See where there were once roofs. This is in the residential area. No gracias, señor. The other structures were built in this area during subsequent occupations after it was initially abandoned. So there's layers upon layers, and typically in Mesoamerica, structures are built upon one another, as you've probably already seen in my previous video about Templo Mayor, and the museum here also has information on that subject as well. Yeah, second day, but I have no room to carry things. I'm very, very,
Second day.
yeah, I have 7 more months to carry my backpack. It's already heavy.
You see it's good country.
Oh, yeah.
How much energy?
Me and Canada, Mexico.
You come from Canada?
So, yeah, I'm a river guide in the United States.
United States.
Yeah, I usually go to Ecuador and Peru in my winters, but all my Mexican friends at home told me I must come here. So here I am to see at least the southern part of Mexico.
Okay, you can buy like this.
I think I get in trouble on the airplane. I have no checked luggage.
You put it in your side. You put it in, look, it's no problem.
Yeah, it's not metal. Homeland Security will freak out in my country, though.
Steady, my friend. Steady solo, please.
Oh, no, gracias.
It's not difficult for you.
Oh, no, if I buy things, I will be overloaded. I don't have very much. I also don't make much money as a river guide. I have to make sure I eat.
Okay.
Yeah, some beautiful art, though.
Beautiful, huh?
So it's best just to have a sense of humor. Take things as they are. I definitely prefer to travel light. If I do collect anything, I might buy a small flag or two, either from a country I visit, or maybe a really interesting region of a country like Cusco. I opted for the older checkered styled flag of the rainbow over the newer one. I thought it was very interesting. It has been upgraded. It's similar, but not the same as the pride flag. So don't get mistaken out there, kids. You'll see the Cusco flag flown often in the Andes. I've even seen it in Mexico City during the Corn Fest. There's many indigenous people from the Americas present there to celebrate. It's the harvest season for corn, that being.
Hola, señor. You see the whistle?
No, gracias, senor. No, I have no room to carry things. I understand. I'm a river guide also, but I don't have much money. Okay, try to give you one more view of the Sun Pyramid. I'm shooting this with the GoPro instead of the Pocket 2 I used yesterday. I shot most of the same footage with it. Maybe I'll do a comparison and post the better of the two. And you see the Pyramid of the Moon at the terminus of the Avenue of the Dead. All sorts of interesting trinkets for those of you who do like to collect things. Obsidian, the dark volcanic glass, being a principal item that they carve into various shapes. It's really pretty. For those of you to collect things, you'd probably love it. And the prices aren't bad on them. And I can hear a salesman in the background hawking his obsidian necklaces with a disc that you can hold up and then look at the sun through. It's a popular item. You see them everywhere. They all look identical. So some craftsmen's blazing away at work, or they're being mass produced somewhere. I have no idea. I would say that some of the artwork appears to me that it was sandblasting was used in the process. I've seen glass work in other places made like that. Generally not volcanic, but in this case they have a lot of volcanic glass. And that's historically what's used around these parts. So here it's a little placard. It says this avenue was probably used for procession since people could get to the moon square through the street after walking nearby main buildings and complexes such as the Citadel and the Pyramid of the Sun. Like the ancient inhabitants, when you walk down this avenue and approach the moon square, keep looking at the pyramid moon and notice how the pyramid covers the Gordo Hill on its back, and eventually the pyramid takes its place on the site representing the sacred mountain. No, gracias.
Ya.
The Citadel at the other end of the Avenue of the Dead. Actually, this avenue went for 5 kilometers, and I believe this walk will be slightly under 1 kilometer. There's a lot of cool things here to see. I wandered around quite a bit yesterday. They have a butterfly temple, I suppose. It's been somewhat reconstructed to resemble what it was like in the day, and it has original murals. Anyway, it's got some original paintings that were used to decorate it, and it has some very intricate carvings of butterfly beings and owls. Butterflies being on eastern and owls being on western, such as the way the sun sets. There's also a tunnel underneath the sun pyramid. Of course, it's not accessible for tourists, but it's opening face west such that the sun's rays shine into it as the sun goes into it to await rising the next morning. So, apparently it has the biggest stash of obsidian and other treasures, over 1,000 offerings, I think. I forget exactly what I read. It's a natural cave that they opened up into a 4-petaled flower, which you see a lot in art in this part, these parts. The butterflies and the intricate carvings and murals are over there. We're looking kind of between the two pyramids. Yeah, I'll try to walk down the other side of the avenue on my return so that maybe you get a better look at both sides of the street this way. And we are approaching the Temple of the Sun to the left or east. I figure about time I get to the other end of this avenue or to the Citadel that the lighting should be correct. Let's get some nice video over there of the Citadel. Pretty big complex. It's kind of cool. Better shot of the Pyramid of the Sun. Yeah, to really see this place would definitely take a very long day. In my case, I prefer to. I had a long day yesterday. To be seen how long I stay today, but I'm sure there'll be new things to see. And I'm trying to shoot in somewhat variety of sun and shadows, different times of day. I expect to be at the location I'm aiming towards now, close to solar noon, but I can tell by the shadows I might arrive a bit early. That said, I still expect line conditions should be pretty good. If not, I'll wait them out. It's another one of those ant nests. They don't seem to build huge mounds, at least not there. But they do look menacing, very much like fire ants. And once upon a time, there was a road that ran east-west from the Sun Pyramid and went off to where the sun set in either direction. So there was another road on the opposite side, or the road continued, I should say, on the opposite side, the western side, or the eastern side of Sun Temple. I'm looking at the western side of the Sun Temple. That's silly. Yeah. If you're curious, the concrete you see snaking along to the right of this avenue is a duck bank. I can see where there is a deteriorated and basically gone junction box for electrical conduit, or some PVC pipe buried inside of that had wiring in it. Does not appear to be functional anymore by the looks of the junction box I saw, or pull box probably more likely. But it is pretty modern pipe fittings inside what was left of it. So it's not historical. And we're still walking south. I'm starting to see some of the complexes beyond the 6 sunken plazas that we're going to walk through again. You see, it's only one step up and a bunch down, so this is helping deal with the slope of the terrain, kind of level things out, make that flat area up above. That was a few steps, but there's even more on the other side, just like in previous crossing. See, here's one more active ant bed. Back away from this before I find one of them. And another ant bed. Most of them seem to be marked with circular rock piles or rings. And you can see where the ants have moved around their own small rocks and pebbles, kind of to find their bed area.
All right, I'm gonna take it.
And this is a look at a residential area, which also had some temples, altars. And they also did some excavating underneath it and installed some columns to support the upper layer so that you can see what it looked like in prior constructions. I might cut that in. I have a little bit of video I shot yesterday of that. Hey, you can see the wares being sold here are nearly identical. Everyone has the same items. Reminds me of Cusco. Okay, the sales pressure is much lighter here. It's not nearly as bad as Cusco, especially in the Plaza de Armas, Cusco, where it's full court press, like you're playing a college basketball game in the closing minutes. You see, there's another altar in the middle of this sunken plaza. Pretty amazing place, considering most of Europe was living in little wood shacks and such in the era this was built. Basically, the major monuments were all completed by 450 AD. So this was quite the cosmopolitan city. And there's another ant bed. sometimes walking up these stairs when they're really short and steep, walking diagonally makes it a little easier to have more of a normal gait. So we're going to cross the river, which divides this complex in half. This road dividing it once again, creating 4 quadrants. This river actually crossed naturally below the Citadel, but they rechannelized it through solid rock basically to make it run east to west. They also created a lot of building materials while they were quarrying the rock out of their canal. And seeing how it still functions almost 2,000 years later is pretty impressive. Now, coming closer to my goal, you see the right side is a rather open field, and that was the historic market. It's thought that elites and priests lived in the Citadel, so the market was conveniently located for them. That avenue, I understand, is roughly 40 meters wide. It's more open down here. Like I said, this is where the market was in the days of old. Give you a little cutaway, the Citadel from the northern wall. You can see there are small pyramids, up top of which was probably residence of the elite, possibly a few shrines. And there's a lot more people selling stuff, vendors. I guess this makes sense since at least this is the historic market area. Yeah, I see more evidence of ants. At least they give you a big warning by clearing out a big area, big paths. Hola. Bien. So, nearing my destination, walked north on the Avenue of the Dead, and we nearly completed the return southern trip. And we're going to go explore the Citadel. And hopefully the video turned out better than it did yesterday. This is the entrance. Try to give you a little pan shot.
Teotihuacán is an enigmatic place. There's a lot of
It's not quite solar noon, as you can tell by the shadows, but it's getting close. And the pyramid, or what seems to be a pyramid in front of you, is an addition that was added later. But a more interesting pyramid is behind it. One first encounter will be much less ornate than the second. Big steps. Must have been tall people.
¿Qué es lo que pasa con las reinas rojas? Todo el